Hello everyone, my name is Felipe. We're going to be talking about for loops, arrays, and methods today. We're going to start here by talking about for loops. And this is what a for loop looks like right here. So this first section of the for loop is where the variable is declared, and it is basically used so it could show values throughout the for loop. And also you could put several variables here. It's just a very handy tool to have. And here in this middle section of the for loop, this is the expression that shows whether the expression will be true or not. So the for loop cannot go up higher than 5, and it cannot even go to 5 because it's not equal to 5. And this last section is basically where the whole for loop is being placed. So that's why I could put plus count, because that is where the whole expression is being held as. If I run this, you'll see what I'm talking about. The for loop will not go higher than 5 or even go up to 5. It will only go up to 4. And it doesn't only work for 5, guys. For example, look, I could change this to 20 and run the program, and I'll go up to 19. So for loops are very useful because they're like a shortcut. Instead of writing down all these CSOs and constantly writing down every number, you could just type in a for loop and it does it for you. This is an example of a very simple for loop, but we're all beginners here, so let's keep going. Now we're going to be talking about arrays. And an array is a set of numbers. For example, this is my array right here. My int, so these are my integers or my set of numbers. Now arrays are kind of different because let me take that out the way. As you can see, this is this number. Well, I'll write it down for you guys so it could be simpler. Just put a slash slash. This is really the 0 number. This is the first number. This is the second number. This is the third number. This is the fourth number. This is the fifth number, and this is the sixth number. So it will help a lot if you think about it as number 1 is the 0th number, number 5 is the first number, number 6 the second number, number 3 is the number 10 is the third number, and that's just the way Eclipse works. So as I said before, in I, where this is basically where the variable is, or where the value is given. And what this means is that the I is going to be less than the length of my integer. So I is going to be less than this, which basically means that although the I is less than the length of my integers, which is this, is going to keep outputting. And as we said before, this term means that this is basically where all the functions are being taken place. So if we run this, you guys will see what I'm talking about. Okay, so good. The value of my integer 0, which I said right here, is 1. What the fuck? Sorry about that, guys. I'm new to this. Alright, so as I was saying, the value of 0 is 1, as I wrote up here. And 6 is 25. Basically, when you think of arrays, you have to think about it like this. It will really help out a lot. And yeah, arrays are useful for getting a set of numbers and organizing them, and also fixing up math equations and figuring out math problems and things in that order. Although some people believe arrays are really complicated because of this weird thing Eclipse does, which puts the numbers like this, but it's the internet. It's a computer. What are we gonna do? Argue with it? Right? So overall, an array is a way of listing a set of numbers. And now, lastly, we're going to be talking about methods. I already have a little setup for us right here, so I could just get right into it. So basically, this first half is the main section. So where it says public static void main, this is the main area, or basically, you could say the control center of this code. And down here is where the actual methods are. And these are all separate commands that travel into the main or the control center. So I'll explain. Alright, so here I have a method right here. It says it's a simple one. It says static void, say hello, Pepito. And right here I have a CSO outprint, hello Pepito. So every time it says say hello Pepito, this is exactly what it's gonna come out. It is a command sent to the main. I'll show you guys right now. So as I run it, hello Pepito. Boom. Now it does get more, you could do way more than that. So right here I made it a little bit more challenging. Not really, but here's another method, and it says say hello to string name. So instead of it just saying only to Pepito, now it's gonna say to a name whichever the user feels like it. For example, I put say hello to Ricardo or say hello to James, and if I run it, you guys will see perfectly that it'll take any name. I could change this to Kiani, and if I run it, boom, Kiani. Easy as that. Alright, so now we're gonna get into something a little bit more complicated. So here's a method I created. It's called static int return 5, and I named it return 5 because that's exactly what it's gonna do. It's gonna give me back a 5. So in this one, I didn't really ask for anything in return. I kind of gave it a command, and for this one, I didn't really ask for anything in return either. But in this one, I'm asking for a 5, and in this case, I wrote integer x equals return 5. So in that case, x should give me a 5, and if I run it, you'll see that I'm correct. It gives me exactly a 5. Now, another cool thing about methods is that you could put it together, like different methods to send to the main and kind of work as a team. For example, here I put static int square int x. So x, as you can see up here, it equals to 5. So I'm trying to do the square root of 5 because I'm doing x times x, which is really x 5 times 5. So over here I wrote int result equals square 5. Result basically is like an answer. And if I run it, it should give me 25. Yep. And another cool thing about this is it doesn't even have to have 5 in it. I could put x and it should still give me 25 because, as you can see up here, x equals 5. Boom. You see? That's the cool thing about methods, and it's really useful to have around because instead of having all these different sort of commands, not really going to one place, you could just have one simple place, the main, or as we call it, the control center, and a bunch of commands, and those commands will be sent directly to there, and in that certain main, you will only have basically the outcomes, and while with the methods, you'll have the actual command or the formulas in order to get that answer. Now, in this certain case, we asked for something in return, and we also gave it something, because it still holds true what I put in here, which is why the whole thing works. Since what I put in here is in x equals return 5, which means that in x equals 5, which made this true, because if x wasn't real, if x wasn't 5, or if x wasn't even an integer, then this whole thing wouldn't exist. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been my little explaining of Java and simple programs such as for loops, arrays, and methods. And I hope you guys subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.